Today I'm going to show you how to make a refreshing daikon and carrot salad that also happens to be a traditional Japanese New Year's food. So stick around. Welcome back to No Recipes. I'm Mark Matsumoto, and I'm here to show you how to elevate your everyday meals. So smack that subscribe button and ring that bell so you don't miss out. Kohaku namasu means red and white vinegar dish, and it's a staple of osechi ryori, which is the traditional New Year's meal we have here in Japan. Every dish in osechi has some symbolic meaning, and red and white are particularly auspicious colors in Japanese culture. It's also said that the long, thin strands of pickled daikon and carrot represent a wish for peace in the new year. The ingredients are simple, so let's start by checking them out. For our white vegetable, we're gonna be using daikon. It's basically a giant white radish, and you wanna look for one that's straight and thick, with shiny, taut skin. Unlike most root veggies, daikon doesn't age well, and it can take on a spongy, fibrous texture when it gets old, so be sure to look for one with the green still attached. For the red vegetable, I'm going to be using a red carrot, which is called kintoki ninjin in Japan. You probably won't find this particular variety outside of Japan, but I've seen red heirloom carrots in stores in the US. Or if you can't find one, a regular carrot will work just fine. Finally, I have a half cup of rice vinegar, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, a small piece of kombu, and yuzu. To julienne or daikon, I'm gonna cut the top off and cut about a pound of daikon off the top end. Then I'm gonna cut this into pieces that are about 2.5 inches long. Now I'm just gonna peel each piece with a knife. You can use a peeler too, but the flesh that's just under the skin can be a little stringy, so you may need to go over the same area a few times with a peeler. By the way, you almost always want to use the end towards the leaves when you're eating daikon raw because it's sweeter than the tapered root end, which tends to be a little spicy. I usually save the root end of daikon for cooked dishes like soups or stews. Next, we want to stand the piece of daikon up and cut a few slices that are about 1/10 of an inch thick from one side. This creates a flat surface so it doesn't roll all over the place. Now you can continue cutting slices from it. The direction you cut these slices doesn't really matter, but for cutting the slices into sticks, it does. So be sure to keep these slices all going the same way so you don't end up having to rearrange them all later. Now I'm gonna line these slices up so they're all going the same direction. Root vegetables have fibers running from the top to the bottom, so you generally want to cut them parallel to the fibers to get the best texture. Now I'm just going to julienne this stack into sticks that are about 1/10 of an inch in diameter, making sure my slices go lengthwise with the daikon. For the carrot, I've already peeled this one using a vegetable peeler, and I'm gonna cut a few thin slices from one side to keep it from rolling around. Then I'm gonna roll it onto its flat side and cut it into thin slices. Be sure to slice the carrot thinner than you did the daikon, because carrots tend to contain less water and they're not gonna shrink quite as much as the daikon after salting them. Once I've got my slices, I'm gonna line them up and julienne them into nice thin strips. By the way, I sometimes get asked how to improve knife skills, and cutting root veggies into a fine julienne like this is a great way to practice. Let's get these into a bowl with the daikon, and then I'm gonna sprinkle the salt on top. Now we just need to mix the salt in so that it coats each strand evenly. This is not only going to season the carrots and daikon, it's also going to draw out excess water from them, which will keep the pickling liquid from getting watered down. Speaking of pickling liquid, let's go ahead and get that going. I have a non-reactive stainless steel pot here, and I'm gonna add in the vinegar, sugar, and kombu. Then we're gonna get this over to the stove and bring it to a boil. This not only helps the sugar to dissolve, it's also gonna evaporate some of the acetic acid in the vinegar, making it a little less harsh. The kombu is gonna release glutamate into the liquid, which gives our pickles a ton of umami. Once the vinegar is at a full boil, cut the heat and we're gonna let this cool a bit so we don't cook our vegetables. Okay, it's been a few minutes and our daikon and carrots are looking nice and limp, so let's drain off all of that extra liquid that's come out of them. Good thing we salted these, or this liquid would have literally watered down our pickles. Now I'm gonna pour the vinegar mixture over everything and remove the kombu. Okay, let's mix this together. Then I'm gonna use a microplane to add some yuzu zest. If you can't find fresh yuzu near you, Meyer lemons make for a great substitute. Then I'm just gonna mix this together again to distribute the zest, and our kohaku namasu is good to go. Okay, to plate this up, I'm gonna carve out a yuzu by slicing the top off and using a spoon to scoop out the fruit. If you don't have yuzu, a mandarin or tangerine will work just as well. Once it's carved out, I'm gonna stuff the fruit with namasu, which not only makes it look great, it's also gonna impart some fragrance into our pickled carrots and daikon. I added a bit of edible gold leaf on top of this for a little something extra, and our kohaku namasu is done. Although namasu is often referred to as a pickle in English, it's eaten more like a salad in Japan and makes for a great contrast to oily or salty foods like braised meat or grilled fish. Daikon can have a funky, musty smell, but thanks to the citrus, this salad smells as bright and sunny as it looks, and it makes for a beautiful addition to an osechi jubako. If you want to learn more about this traditional New Year's meal, I've got some links to some articles and recipes in the description down below. Although kohaku namasu is most commonly associated with New Year's in Japan, it makes for a colorful and delicious addition to bento boxes and sandwiches, so I hope you'll try it out. If you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Give this a big thumbs up and share it with all your friends that love Japanese food. This video was made possible thanks to my amazing patrons, so if you're learning something new from my recipes, I hope you'll consider clicking the link up here to join the No Recipes crew and help support our future videos. Well, I've still got a lot more cooking I gotta get done before New Year's, so I'll catch you next year.